Hey there, welcome to S-Figure Reviews. If you have clicked on this review, then you are interested in finding out a bit about Aepec, aka the final version of the Dark Avengers Spider-Man. Now this is a late 2025 and early 2026 releases, so it is essential if you do want to build Skurge the Executioner. I'm slowly building him at this point. I've got 4 of the 6 pieces. You can skip the Wolverine from this wave. However, if you're a completionist or you're a fan of Wolverine, go get it. Is this a good figure? Well, I'm going to give you a bit of a spoiler. It's not great. It really isn't great. I wish it was great. It looked great from promo images. It looked great in box. But that's about it. So we might as well have a look at the box right now. It is a square standard Marvel Legends box. You've got the removable tray, which houses the figure. Basically, this is the standard Marvel Legends box as of late 2024 with the Strange Tales wave, the sort of mystic characters wave with Dracula, Brother Voodoo, Damien Hellstrom, etc. That was the Black Heart wave. But this is a miscellaneous characters wave, if I do say so myself. Basically, it's a weird lineup, right? It's like the Zabu wave and the Void wave. Just a weird lineup. There's not really a theme to this. So, on the side, we do have Aepec artwork. This is Dark Avengers artwork. The small image is from, I think, Norman Osborn's series, where Aepec is introduced and he's given a serum that turns him into this basic design. On the back, we have a bio for Aepec with a quick explanation of who he is. And we have some other figures from the wave, plus a 3D sort of render of what Skurge will look like built. Now, I will be doing a comparison on figures that I do have from this wave. I have number 1, Sentinel Armor Iron Man. Number 3, which is Captain Warbow. And number 5, which is the updated Enchantress. Really hoping to find Phantom Rider for a really good price. And same with Werewolf by Night. So, for size comparisons, Aepec stands, well, definitely shorter than the box. I've got Scar, the Son of Hulk here, who you will be seeing comparisons between them through this review. And he is almost the same size as the box. The box is a little over 9 inches. And you may have just seen me pull out Crystar. Why? Because Warbow's in the wave as well. Quirky comparison. I thought I'd just give Crystar some love. And I love what I did with the... that's actually it's a broken shirt that I've attached some holes into, punctured them in, and now he's got a bit of a cape. I think it just adds a bit of depth to the character. And not make him look a little cheap as with the translucent plastic. I digress. This guy, we're going to go now to the plastic tray. He's missing so much. Right, this is 6-armed Spider-Man. And he doesn't even come with 6 even sets of hands for each expression. He doesn't come with 6 wall-crawling / open hands. He doesn't come with 6 fists. He comes with 4 fists. He comes with 4 hands, like wall-crawling hands. Now, the heads I don't really have a complaint with. They're really well done. They are clean. They're reuse of the Secret Wars symbiote Spider-Man from Wave 1 of that line. And they work because he has been drawn with those specific eyes through the Dark Avengers storyline. So I have no problem with it. I mean, I would have kind of liked maybe an extra head as well. His eyes have been grey, black, and white, just for a bit of differentiation. That's what happened through different artist interpretations. But I just think, for the price, $40 to $45, it's a lot that they're asking. A lot. For very little in the end. So I would have just loved a whole plethora of hands. So let's have a look at Aepec, Dark Avengers Spider-Man. Just from first glances, right, you can see it is barely any paint. There is barely any paint, which is such a shame. They've just gone all black plastic, which is okay. It's understandable. But I will say, in terms of accuracy, it's not particularly accurate. It's not particularly accurate. Especially the spider. You can see the spider, but especially its limbs, its legs, are smaller and not as long as the reference art we are given. The longer arms, like the front 4 arms, are meant to be sort of stretching over his shoulders. In this case, they're not. They're just painted on the front, on the back. There is unfortunately a little bit of a smudge on mine, but it's okay. From a distance, you can't really see it. Up close, it looks like someone got their thumb caught in there. I will also point out that the arms, they don't work well together. They're just punctured in. It's if they just drilled a hole and got rid of the best parts of the Amazing Fantasy 15 body, which is what this is on. Because it's missing the inverted ab, and I think the inverted ab would have just been perfect for this figure, because it would have enhanced posability. I mean, this is a multi-arm Spider-Man. You could have created some really iconic poses with this guy, trying to recreate some of the cover art or some of the panels that he has been part of. Even just the butterfly joints should be a standard. And I'm not liking that they're getting away from butterfly joints for some reason, trying to do the McFarlane style filler piece, which I absolutely don't like because it doesn't really help. It just hinders the joint even more, and it just proves that they can't really sculpt a proper upper torso because they have massive gaps. So that kind of sucks. So I wish he had butterfly joints. Apart from that, his limbs are really well articulated. His legs are really well articulated. They're double joint, pinless, all of them. But it's the arms that you're going to find are a problem. Okay, it is articulation time. So, we're going to start with the head. The head moves up really far. It is on a neck peg. It is not a dumbbell joint, thank goodness. It looks down pretty well. There isn't really much tilt. Very little. So now we have the ab or slash dumbbell joint. It moves around side to side, but it is very hindered if you have the arms posed. If you don't, works pretty well. But there's very minimal movement forward and back. And I just don't know how, because the Amazing Fantasy body generally has really good articulation. The arms separately work really well together. They are double jointed, pinless arms. They should work well together. But where they've been inserted, it doesn't work, right? They're all splayed out. They're all just... Do you want to create a star jumping pose? By all means, you can do it with this guy. But you can't get his arms straight. You can't get him flush. So he's going to look like he's a half zombie when his arm's out. So that's a shame. Just how they've installed it in general. They've gotten rid of all the good parts and added these really crappy joints. I mean, you can get him to do clapping poses. That's cool. Alright, get him in a cheerleading squad. That's great. But it's not really helpful in any way. So, onto the legs. His legs can move out a decent amount. He doesn't really have much back motion. He can kick a really decent way forward. He's got boot cuts and really decent ankle pivot. And his thighs have a decent 360 rotation. But he's just going to be weird for posing overall. It's such a shame that it is so limited, even though the arms and the legs are well articulated. You need something in the body. You just need something in the body. I mean, I can understand, for example, characters like Angel, who they got rid of the butterfly joint because it hinders the movement of the wings, or the wings would hinder the movement of the butterfly joints. But in this case, I don't get it. I don't understand why they didn't include butterfly joints, because they're all separate arms. So that's really frustrating. So Aepec was very short-lived within the comics. I think he was only around for 4, maybe 5 years at most. And he went from a badass-looking mutant spider to taking this, I think, serum and turning himself into a creepy little Spider-Man dude. He lost the cool factor and became Slim Jim, which is such a shame that they went for that design. I mean, I could have easily seen Aepec as a Build-A-Figure, this spider version as a Build-A-Figure. That would have been cool. But supposedly Aepec has died in the comics. Toxidoxy apparently killed him when he was still shrunk down from the last Dark Avengers run. So he was part of 2 Dark Avengers teams. So it was Toxidoxy and Scar. Scar and Luke Cage were a team in the last Dark Avengers run, but then in this case, one of the images demonstrates Scar here with Daken Wolverine and Toxidoxy. I think Steve Rogers at the time was faking his death. He was Commander Rogers, wasn't Captain America. That was Bucky Barnes of this era. He put Scar in as a mole into Norman Osborn's Dark Avengers lineup. So yeah, I wish there was actually a point to this version of Aepec, because what we're going to find out from the comparisons was there's very few I have. There aren't really many characters that work with Aepec. Aepec does not work with Spider-Man. Spoiler alert, he's not even a Spider-Man. He's a spider being, but he's not even linked to Spider-Man. He's linked to a Spider-Man form of villain. For comparisons, I do not own a symbiote Spider-Man. The only symbiotes I own, this is one of them. This is one of my Venoms. This is the 85th anniversary Venom. Beside Aepec, we also have an MCU comparison with the Far From Home Stealth Suit Spider-Man and the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Adam Warlock. Next up, we have, for a larger figure comparison, Champion Universe and Abomination. Both of those videos are on my channel right now. Please, if you're interested in those figures as well, go have a look. A late 2025 and an early 2026 release right here. For a standard Marvel Legends comparison, for the Vulcan body, I have Banshee. For some female bodies, we have the Shriek body mold, which is Lady Bullseye. And I don't know what Spider-Woman's body mold is, but that's an older pinned female spider character. For miscellaneous comparisons, here we have, starting left to right, we have got Greg, the Carbonized Stormtrooper from Star Wars Black Series, the McFarlane DC Multiverse Collector Edition Captain Carrot. We have the Blockies Pre-Cool Series Wave 1 Elmo, who I will be doing review soon of. We also have the Kyle Rayner best figure of the DC Multiverse Mattel line, in my opinion. And we have Shaggy Rogers from the Scooby-Doo Jada Toys line. And now for the final sort of a random comparison before we actually get to the one that sort of matters for a guy who's had bugger all in terms of interactions. Here we have the rest of his wave mates that I have. We have the Enchantress, Captain Warbow, and the Sentinel Buster Mark 72 Mysterion Armor Iron Man. I don't like this wave. I don't. It sucks. My favourites so far from what I have are Iron Man and Enchantress. They're my favourites. Enchantress, I had the previous Dormammu Doctor Strange film wave edition. That's on my other display. That's not on my main display now. And it's Iron Man. He's not my main Iron Man. He's one of the main looks in the comics right now. But he even looks amazing. He's one I've wanted for a long time. And I'm glad the rumours were true about this guy. And Captain Warbow, surprisingly nice. He actually works. I like him with Krista. Generic, simple reuse. He works. But Aepec, I mean, it's just a random wave. It's just, I don't know. I don't like Aepec. If I was to have changed out the wave in terms of figure-wise, I would have kept Skurge as the Build-A-Figure. Sure. I would have kept Iron Man. I would have kept Enchantress. But what characters would you have added? Comment below what characters would you have added to the wave. If we're to scrap Phantom Rider, Aepec, Werewolf by Night, Warbow and Wolverine, or if you do like Wolverine, keep Wolverine. But what 5 characters would you have replace these 5? For me, I really want villains. I love the villains that Marvel has. I still think DC is a better company overall, better storytelling overall at the moment. But again, I think Marvel has better collector-friendly items because of there hasn't been so many disruptions within action figures. So for me, I would have loved an updated Tiger Shark. I would have loved an updated Grim Reaper on the Punisher body mold. It just would have been poetic. I mean, if the Vulcan mold became the final mold for Bucky Cap, and Vulcan is now the standard, it just seems a bit of poetic justice. It's just poetic justice. I would have loved Radioactive Man. Any of the Wrecking Crew. I'm really missing the Wrecking Crew. My most sought after one is Bulldozer. Really want a Bulldozer. But I could easily see that becoming some Amazon 4-pack later down the track. I also really would have liked, if we're making this random, let's add a Spider-Man villain or an X-Man villain. I would have loved to have had Vulture, a new updated pinless Vulture. We've had the animated series one, but that was an exclusive to Hasbro Pulse. That thing goes for ridiculous money on the aftermarket. People in Australia couldn't really get it unless you ordered it for an extreme price. And Hasbro stuff, I'm already getting annoyed with the maximum series prices being $95 to $100. So overall, who would you change out in the wave, and who would you change them for? Now finally, this is the comparison that actually matters, because Aepec goes with bugger all. Bugger all. I do not own Darken, I do not own Moonstone, I do not own Ragnarok. But these are the characters that do go with him. Here we have Luke Cage, Scar, and US Agents. This is the final team members of the Dark Avengers, the final storyline. This was when they were heading into the Marvel Now era. And they look great together. Will I pose them together? Hell no. Hell no. But they do look nice together overall. I mean, US Agent kind of replaced Luke Cage at that point when the Thunderbolts sort of team disbanded. And then we wouldn't get a Thunderbolts team for about 4 or 5 years. Thunderbolts is generally a hit and miss property that Marvel owns. So I've also got here some little cover or iconic image recreations that I did. That Aepec head when he's crawling down from the wall. Yeah, I just stuck blue tack behind his head, so don't try that because it's not going to work, okay? Final thoughts on this figure. 5.5 out of 10. Yep, it barely passes. Barely. Great joints. Crappy application to paint. I mean, the spider logo is mostly clean, but I just wish there was more. Head accessories, so the head sculpts, they're nice. They're great. Everything else is rubbish. If you wanted to pause and read my analysis right here, I can tell you straight away, this is not Matt Gargan, Scorpion, Spider-Man. This is not him at all. So if you think this is him, you're not done building the Dark Avengers, because we're still waiting on him. Or I've got the old Ares from the Ragnarok Build-A-Figure wave, which was Gladiator Hulk. But that was an old Build-A-Figure. I'm happy with him. But I could see Hasbro re-updating him. But I didn't want to build out a third team. I'm not really a team builder. I didn't really want to build out another Dark Avengers era, right? If you want to build out, sure. But this is not really a popular team. This is not really a fun team. If you were to give me a character instead of Aepec who was Dark Avengers related, I would have really liked Trickshot, because Trickshot doesn't really have to work with Dark Avengers. It could just work with Avengers villain. This is the brother of Hawkeye. It could have worked. But instead, we get uneven sets of hands. We get 4 fists, 4 wall crawling hands, not 6. Not 6. I'm not happy with it. And I had high expectations for this initially. I was thinking, oh, this is really well articulated. This is going to be great. Then I started watching videos myself. And I thought, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. And I'm so annoyed. If you can find it for cheaper, get it for cheaper. The $40 to $45 standard price is not worth it. This is Australian dollars, even 25 to 30 USD. It's not worth it. 25 to 30 pounds UK sterling. It's not worth it. At least it's good custom fodder. There is that positive. At least it's good custom fodder. Smooth arms, smooth legs, no paint on them. You got spare hands, so you can make whatever character you want. But yeah, I'm super annoyed as well that this figure is the amazing fantasy Spider-Man mold, but they got rid of all the good parts. They got rid of the really nice inverted ab, which would have actually helped, and it wouldn't really have broken much of the sculpt up. It got rid of the butterfly joints. The butterfly joints were really impressive on that thing. And the ball joint movement is so limited. And I don't know anymore. I'm done. I'm done trying to defend this guy. The only way you can actually get him looking good is if he's in a dynamic pose. If he's just in a vanilla standard pose on a shelf and you just line all your characters up, he's not going to work. He has to be in a crouching pose in order to look decent, in order to fit in order to look nice. Otherwise, yeah, nah. Just nah. So, yeah, Aepec, 5.5 out of 10. Very weak release. Very weak, and it's such a shame he's tied to the Skurge Build-A-Figure way. Is it bad? I've given you my thoughts. Please, if you're interested in looking out for more content on action figures, current, past, please subscribe to S-Figure Reviews. If you like this video and I gave you some good information, please give it a like. If you didn't like it, that's okay. Give it a dislike. I won't be hurt. Thanks for watching. See you soon.